winds blow through the empty pathways of my mind, and the rivers flow like the world has told them not to stop. Stand my ground, hear the sounds, take a breath and just let go. The leaves fall slower than they have ever done before, and the flowers bloom in the sunlight brightening up my room. Stand my ground.
Hi everyone, how are you? Welcome. Today it's Wednesday, I think Wednesday 18, and I have a very quiet day all to myself, so I thought I would just do a very chill, simple catch-up. So we are going to be talking about my Hobonichi weeks for 2024, as well as my 2025 one that, as you know, I have both, like I'm using both of them right now, and my Commonplace, because I've been loving writing in my Commonplace lately, so I want to talk to you about it. So let's start, as always, with my reading. I am right now reading Deborah Levy's Real Estate. This is a non-fiction. It's actually part of Deborah Levy's like autobiographical trilogy, I think, and this is the last part. However, I haven't read the previous books, but I was very interested in the topic that she deals with this one, which is real estate. So basically, during the whole book, well, I haven't finished it yet, but like the beginning of the book, Deborah Levy is thinking about this dream house that she wants to own. However, she doesn't have the funds or the means to buy it. And she's thinking that sometimes a real estate could be an imaginary place. And that lets her to think about what is women's space in society. Do they own a real estate? Not only, like, she's not only thinking about a house, a home. Do they own their lives? Do they have the right to their own decisions, to their own life? Do they have a space in history, in society? What do we do with those women? Are women always written as a companion to someone, to a man, to a bigger character? So she is talking about all of these when she's in her 60s, and she is a now recognized author, and I find it so interesting. Each chapter is set in a different city, and right now I'm in the Paris section, which is always fun to read. So yeah, and I also finished Patti Smith's A Book of Days, and I will talk more a little bit about that later, but I loved it. So yeah, this is what I'm currently reading. And let's start with my Hobonichi, I think. Hobonichi weeks. It's a good place. I haven't caught you up in a while, so yeah. I'm still using my dragon cover that I very much love. And since I'm very attached to this notebook, I haven't yet done the official change. So I'm still carrying this notebook with me. And I guess in 2 weeks, I will just do the official change, maybe with you in a video. So I think this may have been the last week that you saw. I think so. So let's go to last week. It was my partner's birthday and also my best friend's birthday, so it was a very joyful week. We had an amazing dinner to celebrate his birthday, which was pistachio pasta and some shrimp, Spanish style shrimp, which was very, very delicious. And this week has been all or this couple of weeks has been all lived in the context of the new and uncertain political landscape in Korea. And there was a lot of back and forth with my family back home. Are you guys okay? Are you guys safe? Because I guess the news that arrived to, I don't know, other parts of the world, but Spain was, they were very dreadful, and they just painted everything as a revolution and as unsafety, which the reality was I woke up Wednesday and I just went to work as I do every single day, and nothing really was changing in my immediate life. So yeah, it was very tiring and very exhausting answering to all of those messages, and I know that just people worried, but at the same time it was so like frustrating what was happening that I was mad all the time. Also, I had my brunch with the company. So my company proposed to do a dinner, like Christmas dinner, but no one wanted to join, so we ended up doing a brunch instead, which was, I mean, it was yummy, but I don't know, it's not my favorite thing to do, to be honest, have a brunch with the company. And I got a labubu. This was fun. I really wanted to get one for a long time, but I thought the size was a little bit too much, like pretty big. And I do have a few like plushies, plushie charms to put in other bags, so I thought, it's okay, never mind, I won't get it. But my best friend texted me and said, hey, I just saw this TikTok that they say that in this place, in Pop Mart in Seoul, they never sold out of them because everywhere else is sold out. So my boss texted me that day and said, hey, you can finish early. So I was like, I think this is destiny. I think I should go and get it. So I went by myself, took myself on a shopping spree and got it. And in these weeks, you can see actually a bit more of it. There you go. So it is the same, but instead of having the picture of the dinner that we have, I have a picture of my partner and birthday cake. And I got this sitting or have a seat, something like that, Labubu collection. And I got the gray one. So I thought it was hilarious, to be honest. So it is actually almost the same. The only thing that I usually change is here I talked about the political landscape, and here I talked about everything that I was reading and watching, because it was a very fruitful week. I finished the Gabriel García Márquez book, Memoirs of My Melancholy something, that very bad word. So I finished that book, and then I finished the Catalan book that I talked to you about last week too. And then I watched on Netflix The Biggest Heist about Bitcoin. And then I started reading The Days of Abandonment, which I also finished, and I will talk about it later. So I wanted something more positive in this notebook, since this one is the one that I'm going to be looking at lately, like for next, oh my god, what is happening? For next year, this is the one that I will be looking back more. This one would probably be archived on my shelves and just look at it when I miss it, I guess. So I wanted something a bit more positive, but again, this is all the same. And what I do is I sit at the end of the week, or at the end of usually maybe I catch up 3 days in a row, 4 days in a row. When I have some time, I just sit down and usually copy or expand a little bit, or maybe talk about something different, actually. Just kind of depends. So yeah. And then the other week, so last week, I'm gonna cover my friend's picture because I'm not sure if she wants to be featured here, so I'm just gonna cover her face. We went to the Christmas market, which my partner bought for me this very nice tray for pencils. Then I met one of my dearest friends. She quit from our workplace, I think, back in August, and this is the first time that we really caught up in person. So it was such a good day, and we had pig cutlet. I don't know how you call it in English, but just fried pork, which was very yummy. And yeah, it was a bit of a weeks of ups and downs because there were so many like positive things happening, but also my partner's company announced that they are closing in January or February. So he is of course searching for a new job, which he has found, but the schedule is not good. It's not ideal. Actually, we will pinpoint each other and we can only spend maybe like 1 day together out of the 7 days of the week, which is a bit sad, to be honest. It's not ideal for me. So there were some good things happening and some bad things happening, but at least we talked about it deeply and compromise on a schedule, like to spend time together, even though the odds are not great for spending time. But yeah, we will see. It's not a permanent solution, but because it was very unexpected announcement that they were closing, this is the best solution he could find quickly, I guess. And I'm just going to cover that. The same for this week. So this one, I mentioned it, like new challenge or new challenges. So I again decided to have a bit of more of a positive view here, instead of focusing on, yeah, this is happening and it's not great, but we talked about it and I think it cannot, it won't be the end of the world. I decided to give myself some challenges. Sometimes when I spend a lot of time by myself or alone, I can get a bit in my head and it's hard to get out of there. And sometimes it's not so happy, such a happy place to be. Depends a bit of, the time of the year. So I decided that I was going to give myself some structure, and I thought of a fun challenge to give to myself, and also it would allow me to research and learn. So I decided that next year I'm going to choose a book by an author so every month I will choose a book by an author that their birthday falls on that month, and I will read it. And this is a way also to give me a bit more structure in my reading and to maybe get to books that I've been meaning to read for a long time and I haven't, and this is a perfect excuse. So for example, I think January 1st is E.M. Forster's birthday, so I was thinking maybe I should read Maurice or Passage to India. I'm not sure. I thought it would be kind of a great thing to do and research a little bit more about the author and learn about it. Also, February is Audre Lorde's birthday, so I thought maybe Sister Outside would be a good choice. I kind of have planned out the first 3 months, but please, if you have any recommendation of an author that you love and when their birthday is, please let me know. Maybe I can add it. My only rule is an author that I haven't yet read. So if there were some authors that I really enjoyed and their birthday fell in January or February, but I just know I want to be introduced to new literature and new authors. So I think that this is a very low-key, doable challenge, I think. And I don't know, I thought it was exciting. I get excited about these tiny little lists. So I was thinking about it, and also to further my studies in Korean, I've planned out my first 6 months of the year. So I think that is also a good way to focus my attention and not scroll down, on my phone when I'm alone or by myself, because of course I can do things by myself, but after work I'm so tired that the only thing I can do is maybe go to the gym and then come back home, right? So I don't think I'm going to go to any exciting places after work, and I will be by myself most of the time at home until midnight or so. So I thought, you need to learn, you need to read, you need to do things that you enjoy. So I think that is just gave myself a little bit of a challenge. And this is this week. So as I said, I don't write in this one as it's happening. I take a few days of break and then come back to it. So this is how I decorated it, and I think I also decorated this page with Erin Ware's new printables for Christmas. I won't be really celebrating Christmas because it's not a holiday that it is celebrated in Seoul or in Korea, I guess. We will have an like friends dinner, pajama party thingy going on, which is exciting and fun. But on the 25th, I'm actually working. So yeah, not much of a holiday break for me. But yeah, nonetheless, I wanted to be a bit festive since it's actually my favorite holiday in Spain. Just because I've always had days off and I've been just reading in my couch. Very much like, I don't know, what is it? Gilmore Girls vibes. But not this year, so I still wanted to pay some homage, what is that? Well, tribute to Christmas. And this week is looking like this. Yesterday, what is yesterday? So today, like this week, I have 3 days off, which is great. I actually have 4 days off, but not yet. Sunday is my other day off. Monday we went to the museum, which was great. We wanted to go a couple of weeks ago, but because of all of the rallies and protests against the president were happening either in that area of the city or another one, we decided against going just in case. But this week things seem to have calmed down, so we went to the museum and it was great. It was one of the most enjoyable exhibitions I've been to in a long time, actually. So I had such a great time. And yesterday we stayed home the whole day. It is quite cold. It's -10 right now. So it is very cold. So we decided to just stay home, watch movies, order food, and just rest. And today I will have dinner with a friend that I haven't seen in quite a while. So that is actually excited to get out of the house. But I still have lots of time to just enjoy and be in my notebooks. And I also decorated the next week, also a bit more of a Christmassy vibe, again with Erinware printables. I'm not sure actually where this one came from, just, I don't know, a heart sticker. So this is how my weeks is going. I showed on Instagram, but I did a Patti Smith Commonplace, like very brief Commonplace, as I have done with May Sarton somewhere, that I showed many times. Well, I don't know what it is right now. But as I mentioned on last week's video, I wanted to put here things that have shaped my year. And it's lots of fun because since researching her bibliography, I discovered the book, A Book of Days, and immediately read it, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on this. It is very basic, just why am I making an entry about her, some quotes, and some like her writing style or her topics. And I only have one spread left in the notebook, and I think it's gonna be about the Christmas party that we will have and a goodbye to the year. I think it will be like a good just end of like putting an end to this notebook. So yeah, I haven't actually touched the notes pages on my Hobonichi weeks yet because I want to just wait until the first week of January. And now for my Commonplace, which I am very excited about. I'm going to have a sip of my coffee. Oh, that's quite hot. I set up this notebook with you, or show you the setup. I think this is an olive tan with a pin that I got at the Time store, and it says E20. And this is a Danish coin, Danish crown, that one of my, actually the friend that I'm going to see today got or gave to me after her study abroad period. So I have it here. I changed a little bit the cover or the opening page just because I was a bit tired of looking at the same one for over 2 or 3 years right now. So I just changed it a little bit. I added my 2025 sticker and my Tokyo special edition sticker, which I thought it was fun. And this is the notebook that I've been using for Commonplace. It's actually, the cover is from a limited edition, like Caravan edition, Madrid. So this is Madrid. However, I changed the pages to a graph because I cannot write straight in blank pages. I love the idea of blank pages. However, I can't do it for myself. I like to write straight, but I can't do it if I don't have a line or a guide. And I find it very cumbersome to just change the guide, like the guide behind the pages. So I give up and just change the inside pages. I actually want to get one of those Baumkuchen Tomorear paper notebooks. That is just something I really want to get, but yeah, I cannot ship it just to me yet. Maybe if I go to Japan in the foreseeable future, I can get one. But yeah, the shipping from the States is very expensive. I don't know, like, I think Baumkuchen has like quite expensive shipping. So yeah, I would love to get one of those ones, but we will do with what we have. Actually, I'm not gonna go over all of the entries. You can see that in my other video about my Commonplace, but I will just flip through that anyway. I decorated this. I became one of Susanna's patrons recently, so I have a lot of her stickers in my notebooks right now, and other stuff that I have just collected over time. This is a traveler's notebook pocket that I have some pictures that I want to use for commonplacing. And I also added a index, but the index I always fill it in when I'm done with the notebook. I mean, these notebooks don't have lots of pages, so I don't think it's that hard to find things, but I like to sit down and, as a goodbye, as a ritual, when the notebook is done, go over everything I've written down and just make my own index. It's like a goodbye thing that I like to do. So yeah, quickly we will flip through the pages that I have already talked about, and I don't want to bore you again with it. I actually haven't finished my Olivia Lang's entry, so I will not flip through that one. But I've been having lots of fun with this notebook. I have made amends with this size. For a long time, I find Traveler's Notebook A5 Slim very uncomfortable to think. A place where your thoughts don't really expand lots, because it's very narrow notebook. I don't know if that makes sense, if it's a me thing, but I've noticed myself that this is not a place that I feel very comfortable thinking. I think it's because of the size. So I usually like to have a Commonplace in a real full size A5. However, I don't know, I've been falling slowly back in love with TNs and the TN size, so I'm very happy, very, very happy. And these are the spreads that we will skip, and here we go. So this is a new spread, so allow me to talk a little bit about it. This is The Days of Abandonment spread by Elena Ferrante, which I actually have the book here from the library. So this book. And this picture I didn't take myself. I actually found it on Pinterest, and this is something that I often do because I usually forget to take a picture of me reading the book. I will find a picture that I like and just glue it. But sometimes they are my own pictures, sometimes they aren't. It's not a big deal for me. So this book was hard to read. I loved it. I enjoyed it so much, but it was suffocating. I talked a little bit about it last week, I think, but allow me to repeat myself. The book is about a woman named Olga. she's one day, making breakfast, and her husband comes to the kitchen and says that they're done. It's over. And he, like that, just walks away from her, from their kids. No explanation, nothing. He doesn't even pack, he just leaves. No contact, no nothing. And she is enraged. She is furious. It's a book about rupture. It's a book about unbecoming to become again. And it is an angry book. And because of that, the rage is so strong. The way it is written is so magnificent that you can feel every single thing. And it's like, just, it is so uncomfortable to read. I think one of you said that you read it in one sitting, and I don't know how you did that. I couldn't. I needed to stop. I needed to breathe. I feel like I was drowning in that grief and sadness and rage. I loved it. I loved every single moment of it. However, it is so crude, so raw, very, very, very raw. So be aware of that. There will be also some sexual scenes, very graphic ones. So if that's something that you don't like to read, be aware of that. But it's so good. It is so good. So I wanted to talk about two topics when I was commonplacing about this book. One was the locked apartment. So Olga and her kids spend a lot of time in their apartment, and she becomes a little bit obsessed about letting people in this new space that she's trying to build, rebuild, destroy. And she buys new locks, and she is having a hard time unlocking the door. She cannot get out, she cannot get in. And the apartment to me became kind of a metaphor for like a real almost prison, where she is showing her desperation. Like she is truly destroying herself in that apartment and everything that the apartment contains. And there are some very sad and gruesome scenes in there. And the other one was motherhood. So Olga, she's a mom, and she has two kids that her husband just decides to, hey, I will see them whenever I want. And it is very a contentious point, a point of contention, because she loves her kids, but of course she also needs a space to grieve, to mourn, to feel the rage, just to feel everything. And her world, her personal world and her being a mom are colliding, and she's finding herself to have to perform as the carer of her kids, the main supporter of them, at the same time as she's losing herself. And it's very sad to read, actually, because her instincts are telling her that she needs to take care of her kids. However, she cannot take care of herself. And I'm always very interested in motherhood, because motherhood is, talked about as something that women are naturally how can I say that in English? We have a natural disposition to be moms and to feel that motherness and to care about others, and it is far from natural to a lot of women and to a lot of people in general. So I always find it fascinating to read about that topic. And yeah, it is a very central topic, I think, in the novel. And then I just wrote some quotes from the book that I very much enjoyed. Then I wrote about a book of days. So basically, this is by Patti Smith, and it is a collection of the pictures that she posted on her Instagram when she opened her account for a whole year. So you can find pictures that she took herself with her phone, with her Polaroid, or pictures from archives like authors and writers, painters, anything like that. And then she always has a little note about them. Sometimes it's a bigger, sometimes it's just very small note. And I really enjoy it because I thought it was a good way to not only see what you did in a year, but also sometimes she collected pictures that she had taken like years and years ago, and she paid a little bit of a, homage to that picture and to that time. So it inspired me to try to do that next year, and not only put pictures of myself or pictures of what is happening in that day, but maybe go through my phone archive and see, like, I don't know, in this day, in, I don't know, January 5th in 2019, what happened, and if it's something that I want to talk about, just print it and talk about why is this here and why I want it in my notebook again, I guess. So I very much enjoyed that, and these are some of the examples that you can find in the book. So this is, for example, I think this is a Joyce book that she was reading with her late dad, coffee cup, some picture of someone, maybe it's James Joyce, her camera, some of her Polaroids, her camera that she cannot no longer use because they don't make the paper anymore. So I don't know, I thought it was kind of lovely idea. And at the back of the book, she has this long list of recommendations of books to read. But because sometimes I find those lists a bit overwhelming, I skimmed through it and picked 4 of them or 5 that I wanted to read. And I will add more as time goes by. So yeah. And this is yesterday, I think, yes, about the museum. So we saw a few exhibitions, but I was mainly interested in the 2024 Korea Artist Prize and Asian Women's Bodies, I think it was called. Allow me to grab it. This one, Connecting Bodies, Asian Women Artists. Actually, I was a bit disappointed with this exhibition. I was expecting a little bit more from it, but I took some artists that I want to learn more about. So that was good, I guess. But the one that I truly loved was the Korea Artist Prize. It was so surprising, so good. And I think I shared with you some of my favorite titles, or names of the pieces, because they were amazing. And I'm thinking that maybe my Instagram, I won't only share notebook stuff, I will share also a bit of a personal life stuff, because I think I want to combine all my interests together. So this picture I took after we went to the museum. We went to Blue Bottle, the cafe, and I had a latte, and my partner had some like New Orleans inspired latte. I have no idea. And I was flipping through the pamphlets that I got and thinking about it. And actually these I copied from this one here, so the information about the exhibition, and I put the ticket. I love these two especially. This one is not as much of a title, but it's like a sentence, and it says, "There was a time when, not knowing how to live, I took my entrails to make a net." This one was by Ji Yong-yun or Yoon Ji-yeon. It was so good. Everything was so gruesome, and it was about there was a video about women singing, and they were singing to pieces of clay. I don't know if it was clay or some type of rubber, and then the artist will melt that, and it contained the women's voices recorded in that kind of piece of material, and she melted them and created some sculptures. I think that made no sense, but it is very clear when you see it. And I love that. And this one was about machines and moving sculptures. It was very impressive actually to see it in real life, and I loved the sounds the machines made. They were very kind of very lovely sounds. And I think I will insert at the beginning of this video a tiny blog about the experience because I loved. And then some of my favorite titles were To Throw Up, One Must Swallow, The Absent Body, A Motherless Mold and a Face, or Seeing Things the Way We See the Moon. Yeah, all of them, very enjoyable. If you have the opportunity to check them out, I will recommend to go to this exhibition. The price is so cheap. It's like a couple of dollars, and it is a great. And then I just also put for other artists here. This one was about the life in the island in Jeju, and all of the videos had something in common, which was this white thread or this white textile, which meant mourning and grief. So it was very exciting to see that too. And finally, Toni Morrison's The Art of Fiction. This is from the Paris Review archives. The issue is 128 from the fall 1993. And I really like this interview, especially because she talked about routines and rituals. So I just copied some of the quotes that I really liked, and especially I wanted to feature this in my Commonplace because I love when people in journals, in books, situate themselves, like they describe their workspace, their table, the light, the coffee, or whatever they are drinking, the pens they're using, the notebooks, the smells. And I found that the art, like the authors of this interview, made that perfectly about Toni Morrison's space. So I just copied that about how her space was, her writing, thinking space, and then some things on having rituals, and if she wrote about, or if she wrote to figure herself out and to figure her feelings, and she said no, she says, I know how I feel. So I thought that was great too, and I just copied a little bit about that. And yeah, this is as far as I've done right now, and I take my time with my Commonplace. I think I don't find the need to write every day, but when I do, I may write like 4 entries or 3 entries in a day or in a couple of days. But yeah, kind of been thinking a lot these days about rituals, about objects, about homes, and what makes a place a home. So I found that all of these things that she was talking about also related to, I don't know, I've been obsessed with space, creating your own space. So I've been enjoying reading about things. And also in this book, in Patti Smith, it's not only about focusing on the big moments, it's focusing on the mundane, the normal, those make up for the majority of your year, right? And having those special objects that you have connections to. I found that so precious and beautiful, so that's why I also wanted to Commonplace about it. And that's it. I have the back of the craft folder, the back of the zipper, and just a pocket with more stickers and loose papers, which I sometimes write about things that I want to write at some point. I like to print pictures. There was not that many things that I could print about Elena Ferrante, especially when she is an anonymous writer. So I use some of Susanna's printables, which I love. But yeah, I usually like to feature something related to the entry, but in this case, Toni Morrison, it was an interview. So if I find her desk, I may actually cover this and leave a space if I can find a picture of her house or her writing space. I'm not sure about it, I haven't researched yet, but it was not featured in the article, so let's see. But yeah, that's everything that I have for you today. I hope you guys had a great week and a great end of the year, that you can rest, and if you celebrate, have a happy holidays. And if not, then I wish you a wonderful winter. I think my next video is going to be about setting up my passport size, because I have bought a bag that I cannot fit my Hobonichi wigs, and I need a notebook with me all times just in case. So I want to set up my passport, my traveler's company passport size, to have that in case I need paper, and go through my TN collection, I think, because I love TNs and I think they're very precious objects, and since I'm obsessed with durable precious stuff, I want to talk more about it. And yeah, that's all for me today. Have a beautiful day.